Hello, welcome back to another video. Go ahead, grab your makeup and let's create this amazing look. Hey guys, my name is Judith and please make sure to subscribe. I trimmed her brows off camera, so I'm just using this powder brush with a little bit of powder on it to take out the excess hairs on her face. Then I went ahead into her skin with the micellar water from Nia Beauty Plus, using a cotton pad to do that. So I'm just basically making sure I take out all the dirt on her skin. We need a clean canvas to work on. Then to hydrate her skin, that's to begin the skin prep process. I'm using the green tea Kiss Beauty green tea hydrating spray. That's the first step I use for my hydration. Use a brush to blend that into the skin, and I went ahead to apply to moisturize her lip with the Nia Beauty lip balm. Guys, don't ever leave your lip out of your skin prep, it's part of your skin. So after that, I went into her skin with the Zaron hydrating serum for more hydration and also to give me like a very fresh skin to work on, like a good foundation to work on. So I blend that into her skin, making sure it's absorbed properly into her skin. I'm using my flat brush to blend that before going into it with the next product, which is my Embrace moisturizer stroke primer. This doubles as a primer as well. If you're working on someone with a dry skin, with this alone you don't need an additional primer, but to play safe you just need to go into it with a primer. So I make sure that is well blended, and I went into her skin with the Rimmel London Stay Matte Primer. This is not like a dry mattifying primer, but it holds your makeup. It's a very good primer. So I usually just apply that on every part of her skin because I don't consider this like a dry primer. So this can work all over her skin. So I pat that in with my brush. Make sure you don't drag. So on her T-zone, I'm using a Gentle Dove Cosmetic primer on her T-zone. This is a mattifying primer. Guys, if you can't afford the Becca primer, this is a very good hack for the Becca primer. It mattifies and it keeps your makeup in place for a very long time. This is one product I highly recommend, so make sure you check this out. Apply that with a brush, just pat that in with a brush and make sure you don't drag so it doesn't lift your makeup. So also apply on the brows because we want a matte brows. So on her skin, I'm using my Beauty by AD foundation in bad 7 and my Younger Beauty foundation in SMF 10. I mixed them together and this is me just blending that into her skin with a beauty sponge and making sure this is well blended. On her skin, I worked with a tan effect. A tan effect is when you have like a foundation slightly darker, like quarter shade darker than the person's original tone. I love to work with a tan effect most times when I'm working on someone with a medium skin tone. So for her blush, I'm using the Nuban Beauty blush in Coral. I usually mix this blush with my iMagic blush palette, but in this video I just like to go ahead with just the blush alone. It works as well, but mixing it with the iMagic lip palette works perfectly well. So this is me blending, and I took the SSAs from the beauty sponge on her nose because I just want like a little bit of color on that area, and also on her forehead. The color is not going to be obvious, but it's just going to be there. So to contour, I'm using my Maybelline foundation in 370 and I'm using the Elegel concealer in Fawn for her highlight. So I place that on the back of my palm and use my brush to apply that all over her skin, all over the part of her skin where I need to highlight, not like all over the skin. And when I'm working with my Elegel concealer, I apply the concealer everywhere I need to apply before I go ahead to blend. And in this video, I'm just contouring first before I go ahead to blend because my Elegel concealer, I always love for it to get sticky a little bit, like get tacky a little bit before I go ahead to blend. That way it's going to give me like a very good blend and full coverage. The coverage is going to be better. So to start blending the concealer, I started from her chin, I went under her nose and the bridge of her nose to blend, and now I'm just basically blending the forehead. You just need to keep blending like your life depends on it. Just blend and keep blending. That is the word. Just keep blending. You don't want to see any demarcation. So I went ahead to contour the nose before I blend under the eyes, because I still really wanted the Eyeshadow concealer under her eyes to get tacky. Whenever I'm working with my Eyeshadow concealer, that's how I work with it, because this way it just works better for me. But when I'm working with other concealer like Nova Beauty, I blend as I go, because Nova Beauty concealer dries out really fast, and also the Younger Beauty concealer, it dries out really fast, but not as fast as the Nova Beauty concealer do. But for the Eyeshadow, you really need to leave it for a while to get tacky. That way you're going to get like a full coverage, and it's going to give you like an easy blend. So try this and thank me later. So I'm just basically, you know, blending and blending. Guys, when you're blending your concealer, just take your time. You're not rushing to go to anywhere. Take your time and don't be hard under the eyes, because under the eyes is really sensitive. So to set under the eyes, I'm starting with my powder. This is the Milani powder in medium, and I use that before applying the setting powder. So what I'm doing basically right now is using my beauty sponge to set under the eyes before going into it with the actual setting powder. When you do this, this is going to give you like an easy blend and a very smooth, flawless under eyes. With this, your under eyes is sure not to crease, like it's not moving. So to continue, I'm using that's to set under the eyes. Make sure you blend before you apply anything under the eyes, and I'm using the Nova Beauty setting powder. That's a translucent oil contour powder, that's what it's called, guys, in mustard. This is just the perfect shade for her, so I'm just picking little quantity and building up, because I don't want to pack so much product. Remember, if it's not enough, I can always add, but if it's too much, guys, I cannot reduce. So just, you know, take your time to build up your products. The products are yours, right, and they're not going anywhere, so just take your time to build them up. So next, I'm going to be intensifying the blush with this eyeshadow from my eyeshadow palette. I'm just using like a flat fluffy brush to do that. I just blend that in, make sure it's well blended, and I went ahead to, like, you know, just put a little on her nose area and dust off her forehead area with the same brush, just to give me like a little bit of color. So when I'm setting under the eyes, I like to like 2 layers of setting powder. I like to set like if with a very little quantity and go ahead again with another setting powder. So to do that, I'm using my Laura Mercier setting powder on top of the Nuban Beauty setting powder. This is because I love to build product, and when you build product, it gives you like a flawless finish. So the 2 powder you just saw in this video, this is the Nuban Beauty mineral powder in number 9 and number 4. So I'm using the number 9 to intensify the contour on her face, and the number 4 is to set all over her face. So what I'm doing right now is intensifying the contour with the number 9 from my Nuban Beauty powder. Guys, this powder is an amazing powder, and you don't want to sleep on it. So number 4, the Nuban Beauty mineral powder in number 4 is what I'm using to set all over her face. It's like an exact powder shade, and the reason I went for a tan effect earlier is because by the time I finish highlighting and contouring, the skin just matches. So for her eyes, this is the eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using from Elsa's Pro. First, I smudge under her eyes. I usually don't smudge under the eyes first before doing the actual eyeshadow, but I just felt like, okay, let me do this, let me try this, why not? Yeah, why not? And I really loved it, and I'm going to be doing it again because I just love it. Not like it made it easier for me or it made it seamless for me, I don't know, but I just love it, so I'm definitely going to be doing it again. So for eye look, I'm using my Hagen Esther brow gel in ebony as my base, because I'm kind of going for a dark base. So if you're going for like a dark base, like a dark eyeshadow smoky kind of, it's better you start off with a dark base. So after blending that, make sure it's well blended, I went into the eyelid with the brown eyeshadow from the Elsa's Pro palette. I applied that on the lid with a different brush, and I'm using a blending brush to just blend out demarcations and just to make it really easy for me and make sure there is no demarcation, making sure it's well blended, like perfectly blended. So after that, I went into it with a transition shade. It's like an orange from my palette. This is from another palette, I think the Color Studio palette, and I used like another blending brush to do it because this is like a light shade, and using the same brush I used to apply the dark, it's not going to work. So currently I'm using the brush I used to apply the dark to just blend that in and make sure there is no demarcation. If you notice, I kept switching brushes, guys. You need to have lots of eyeshadow brushes on your hands, so because there are different brushes for different purposes. So right now I'm going on her lid, into her lid with my primer. No, this is not a primer, this is like a pigment stroke glitter glue. I apply it on the back of my palm, let it get tacky for a while before going into it with a pigment. This pigment is E-Beauty in the cosmetic, I think that's what it's called, that's the name that it should be. So I apply that just on the lid. I'm not applying like doing the shimmer or the pigment rather to go all over her eyelid, just on that part, that spot that has like an eyeball. And I went into the crease again with a dark shade, like a dark brown, just to, you know, blend that out. Basically that's what I'm doing, because that's the look I want to achieve. This is the look I had in mind to achieve. So now to line her eyes, I'm using my Tehila Beauty gel liner. Guys, if you don't have this gel liner, I don't know why, but why are you sleeping on this amazing product? This gel liner is black, it's smudge proof, it's mattifying, and it's really black, and it's easy to apply. So after lining the eyes, I did the same thing on your brow, and now it's time to do the brow. So I'm setting first with a powder, and I'm using the same powder I used to set all over her face to do that. So guys, to give the face a lift, instead of using a concealer, I prefer to use a powder, because one, this is easy to apply, and it's also easy to blend. Like, it's very blendable. So to give the face a lift and, you know, shaping your eyeshadow, guys, instead of using a concealer, trust me, use a powder. Can you see how easy it is for me to blend that powder? And make sure you blend out the edges, the demarcation, so you don't create like it will work for yourself, like a line for yourself and all that. So to line her brows, I'm using my Davis brow pencil in number 3 to outline her brows. I'm just basically, you know, outlining. I'm not overlining. I'm just lining her brows and adding tail to it. I'm just following her natural brows, because I don't want the brows looking big. I don't want it looking big actually. So now I'm just filling the beginning part of the brows. Just filling, light stroke, nothing too serious, because she has like hairs already, so trust me, nothing too serious. So I'm just brushing the brows. I use my spoolie to pick a little bit of the brow gel to use to brush the brows, just to make it, you know, thicker a little bit. And now it's time to conceal the brows. I applied my concealer, the same concealer I used to highlight under her eyes, the Elegant concealer in Fawn. I'm using it to just define the brows. Like I said, guys, nothing serious. When you're doing your brows after your eyeshadow, it's always nothing serious. Can you see? Just very little quantity of concealer, and, you know, use a blending brush to blend that out. And I went ahead with the same shade I used to contour her skin on the beginning part of the brows, because you want that side, that brows looking natural. You don't want it looking like, I don't know, but you want it looking natural. So to do, just to, you know, clean up the top a little bit, nothing too serious, guys, really nothing too serious. So just clean up the top a little, because I did this brow when I was drawing the brows, I did it very well, so there's really no need to do all this, but I love to do extra because I want it perfect. So I went ahead to set the brow bone with the same powder I use on her skin, and the same contour shade I use on her skin to set the beginning part of the brows. And I'm also, you know, intensifying the nose contour. So for her lashes, before I apply the false lashes, I'm using the Zaron Cosmetic mascara. This is one amazing mascara, like really amazing, guys. Make sure you don't sleep on this, guys, trust me. So after that, I'm just going to use her powder shade to blend out under her eyes, because I don't want it looking, you know, looking really bright. I just want it a little bit highlighted, because this shoot she was going for was like a professional shoot, so I just didn't want, you know, her to have so much on her skin. So I just used her powder shade to take out excess powder under her eyes. And now it's time to set. Using my Nuban Beauty setting spray to do this, I'm making sure I cover the eye so it doesn't reduce the intensity of the eyeshadow. And I'm using my lash pack to, you know, increase the drying process. I love to use my lash pack. It works better for me compared to the mini fan. So when it's dry, like almost dry, like 95%, I use my beauty sponge to just seal everything into the skin, erasing the powdery effects. Now I'm applying my false lashes. This lashes is the Wing Beauty, my favorite lash brand. And guys, lashes application process are now so easy for me. Like, what? How easy can that be? And I asked her if she had any discomfort. She said no. And down to the lip, I'm using my brow gel from the Hega and Essa brow gel in Ebony. Talk about a multi-purpose product, right? To line her lip. And this is my new, like my current favorite lip liner to line her lip. And while lining the lip, guys, like I take my time. It's fast in this video because I kind of increase the speed, but I really don't do my lips this fast. I just ask her to smack, so I make sure I get every part of the lips so it doesn't look weird, because if you underline, it looks weird. If you overline and you don't overline properly, it kind of looks weird. So after that, I make sure it's well blended. I went ahead into with my Eye Magic lip, like a lipstick from the lip palette, and just blend that into the skin, sorry, into the lip, yes, like inside the lip, and I blend that into the liner, like I blend it into the liner so it's well blended, guys. But you understand what I'm trying to say, like just, you know, blend everything. And I just wanted like a little bit of color on it. I went ahead with my Blood Cosmetic lipstick, that is the orange shade. I just wanted it to have like, you know, a little bit of color and also make it more intense, like, you know, more products. That's what it is. So now I'm going to be glossing her lips. But before that, I use my Avo lipstick just to add like a little bit of pink on it. It's not like pink, but it's just, I think, baby pink. Yeah, that's what it's called. That's baby pink. Yeah, definitely. So to gloss her lip, I'm using my classic lip gloss, and I wanted the lip gloss to have like a shine in it, sorry. So I mixed it with my wet balm from TM Essential, no, from Miss Metic in the shade Flushed. So I just mixed it, and this is what I got. Like, it's giving me like a metallic lip gloss. And guys, ignore the back of my palm. That is where I apply my product. And sorry, it's kind of a mess, but my palm has to look like that for my model or client skin to look amazing, right? So I just, you know, blend that properly, making sure I'm not, you know, putting it all over the place. I'm just taking my time. It's kind of a bit, the speed is, like, I increased the speed in the video like I said earlier, but I really do take my time when I'm applying that. So to finish off the skin, I'm using this wet cheek glaze, glazed Miss Metic glazed in coral. So just, guys, just finish up the face. Can you see that glow? It's, you know, the glow has like an orange in it a little bit. Like, just look at that healthy glow. Amazing. This is like one of my favorite products. I went ahead to, you know, apply highlighter. I'm using the Inglots. This is the Inglots that I'm using. I just apply that on her cheek, and I went ahead with the Supro. Just, it has like a pink, the Supro in Fairy, okay, Jara, it's a pink shade. So I just wanted to have like a very little pink on the cheek, just like a highlight. This, even though this was like a little bit much more than what I wanted, but guys, it's given, like, it's giving. So what I'm doing basically is just blending, and I'm about to seal the makeup with my Supro Silly Spray. And whoa, seal everything, make sure they are sealed, no moving, nothing should move. So I just let it dry a little bit, and I use my beauty sponge to dab that in because this product is shiny. So I'm trying to just erase that shiny stuff a little bit. So after doing that, I'm going to use my mascara from Zaron Cosmetic. What do I say? Keep saying beauty. Zaron Cosmetic. Oh goodness, Zaron Cosmetics, to increase the volume on the lower lashes. And guys, this is the finished look. It's giving everything it's supposed to give. It's giving skin, it's giving slate, it's giving glam, it's just giving everything. And guys, at this, we've come to the end of this video. Please let me know if you enjoy it. Subscribe to my channel if you're yet to subscribe. Turn on the post notification to my post so you'll be the first to be notified when I post new amazing videos like this. Check out my other videos as well, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.